And we're back in the room, ladies and gentlemen. Joining me today, boy oh boy, do I have a treat for you. He is a singer, songwriter, occasional actor, broke into showbiz at the mere age of 19 years of age, now living in LA. He's a man, not a boy. He is the one and only, give it up, from your devices, Mr. Chesney Hawkes. Welcome to the show, sir.
Caiman, that was a hell of an introduction, mate. I'll give you 9.5 points for that one.
It doesn't get much better than that, does it? Is that out of 9.5 or was that out of 10?
That's out of 100. No, I'm just...
Hey, I'll take what I can get these days, Chesney. Well, thank you so much for coming on. So I'll be honest with you, I've not told anyone you're on yet, so it's going to be a nice surprise for all the viewers and the listeners, and we're going to do a little premiere on Friday, so they're all going to join in on the live chat and everything, hopefully for that as well. Fantastic stuff. So again, yay, I like what you did it. Fabulous. Brilliant stuff. So yeah, just brought you on, just want to have a general chat. I see you've got your vodka. I've got mine.
Yeah. It's kind of early for vodka for me. I'm on Irish whiskey.
Yeah. Me. What time's it over there now? Would it be 10 a.m.? Is that right?
Yeah, 10 a.m. for me.
10 a.m. Yeah, 10 a.m. there, 6 p.m. Yeah, brilliant stuff. How's LA?
Yeah, lovely. It's been really hot recently, actually. It was like 92 degrees yesterday. So I think it's going to be another scorcher today. I might have to put the AC on.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, you poor man. My heart bleeds, Chesney. My heart bleeds.
I know, it's tough. It's a tough job, but, you know, someone's got to do it, Caiman, you know.
Hey, take it one for the team, you know. I can't fault that at all. So, yeah, just brought you on for a little bit of a chat, just to talk about, obviously, breaking into the music business at a young age. Talk about a bit of what's been going on in lockdown. As I mentioned, I've been watching you in lockdown.
Yeah, I noticed you outside my window.
Yeah, I've been watching you, Ches. I've been watching. Yeah, I've been watching your videos, your feeds, and everything. Great stuff. We'll get into that in a bit. I suppose first of all, we love nostalgia on this show. So I know you grew up with music in your household. I know your father was in a band, the Tremolos. So yeah, basically, were you pretty much born into music? Was it ever anything else for you? Or how did it start? What was your journey?
No, I was always music. My dad always says I came out singing, and I grew up in a very rock and roll household with guitars, you know, propped up in every corner. And the old man's friends were all, you know, 60s superstars like Jerry Marsden and, you know, from Jerry and the Pacemakers. And, you know, the Searchers were all Dad's mates, and the Marmalade and Dozy, Beaky, Mick and Titch, and, you know, Herman's Hermits, and I mean, all those, the Fortunes, you know, they were all my dad's mates. They were all
brilliant, like
my
uncles.
Yeah, they were. It was like, you know, Uncle Dave, the Uncle Jimmy. You know, it's just the way it is, man. You know, that's how I grew up. So no, I was never going to be. You know, me and my brother and sister were never going to become accountants or anything. It's like you know, we had music fed to us from a very early age. My brother's now a drummer. My sister's a songwriter and a singer, and there's me somewhere in the middle there.
Brilliant stuff. Fantastic. So 19 was that your first break into music at 19 years of age then?
Yeah, I mean, I made a film with Roger Daltrey when I was like 17, and then that came out kind of just as I turned 19, and then of course my first single came out around that same time. So yeah, I was young. I were a young whippersnapper.
Brilliant stuff. What sort of pressure was on you at 19 years of age? You know, I mean, I remember myself at 19, and to be honest, to point a phrase, I didn't know my arse from my elbow, you know?
No, of course not. Nor did I. And probably that might have worked in my favor in a way, because, you know, yes, there was a lot of pressure put on me, but I didn't feel it. You know, I just kind of took it and just rolled with it. You know what I mean? And just got on the road, and that was that. You know, it happened so quickly. I mean, I went from, you know, one minute I was playing piano in, you know, pubs and wine bars around the area, and you know, just like playing at weddings and bar mitzvahs and shit, and then next minute I was like, you know, number one and playing arenas and stuff. It was crazy, but maybe because my dad had been through it as well, and kind of I'd been around fame. You know, my dad's mates were all kind of famous and stuff. So maybe there's something to be said for that I kind of took it a little bit more in my stride than I would have done if I hadn't experienced that. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So literally from one extreme to the other, though.
Yeah, I mean, it was like being like thrust into the eye of a storm or something, you know. So right in the middle there was like this kind of bubble, and my brother was my drummer, and you know, Dad was like co-managing me, and we had this little bubble of people, and then around me it was all like, you know, crazy, and you know, I would go, God, I'd get up in the mornings and not know what country I was in or where I was going to be. You know, it was that kind of craziness. And,
nuts, man, nuts. You say your brother drummed for you. Was he 17 at the time when he started drumming for you? Is that right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he was a youngster, and took full advantage of the madness.
Brilliant stuff. Was that an added pressure for you, or did it help ease your pressure, having your brother practically in your band?
Well, Jody kind of kept my feet on the ground, really, more than anything else, you know, because we grew up together, and we were good mates even from an early age like that. And we had music in common. We're still really good mates, and he's still my drummer. So, you know, if I ever got too big for my britches or whatever, you know, and he'd just call me a wanker and put me back on the stage.
He'd rein you in, like, yeah?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Brilliant stuff. And he still drums you to this day as well, yeah?
Yeah. And, you know, if you ever come and see me live with the band, you'll see my little bro behind me. Yeah, it'd be weird doing gigs without him now. Well, it is sometimes, because he's quite a, you know, successful drummer. He's played with all sorts of people, and sometimes, rarely, you know, he's not available for me, and to use another drummer. And as good as you know, people I use are, it's like, it's not Jody. You know what I mean? It's like,
that's it. Yeah,
there's a connection, a kind of like a, you know, a brotherly sibling connection that you can't, you know, test or buy.
Yeah, you can't replicate or duplicate it for love nor money. No,
he
you know,
kind of he's almost like he knows which way I'm going by just looking at me and stuff. You know, it's weird.
Yeah. You find that though, don't you, as well? If you've played with someone for a length of time, like I'm in a band now. We do an 80s tribute band. We call the Breakfast Club. So you know, we should collaborate. But you know, you play with your band. Occasionally, people can't do it. We have weddings and things like that. It's like, all right, let's get a stand in. Never the same, never quite the same. That's not taking anything away from them as musicians, but it's like it just doesn't click, you know.
Yeah, it's just the tightness that you have, you know, as a combination of people, and that just works. But you know, especially if you've been playing a long time, like you guys, you know, you probably play every week. Well, not at the moment, but
no,
play every week, and you know, you get that kind of you know certain quirks that each musician has, and then also when you play like that, you kind of build up these little moments that you don't even do in rehearsals, little pushes that just kind of naturally start to happen. Then you know that that's happening. But if you bring somebody else in and you give them, you know, you play them the record and they just replicate the record, it's not the same as how you actually. Yes, that's like I've been doing it live. It's like they're not mind readers, so they're not going to know those things.
No, that's it. It's very difficult. It's a difficult situation. It's, you know, it can work. You can get by on it, but it's not ideal, is it? You know.
Exactly. I mean, sometimes it's fun because it's a bit rock and roll, a bit edgy of pants. You know what I mean? And, I've had that before where, I mean, sometimes, you know, I've got a A-list band that you know, they're my A-list boys, you know, and I normally get them, especially if I you know, book them in advance. But sometimes, you know, some of them aren't available, and I've had some gigs where I've literally got none of my boys. And I've got none of the depths that I've used in the past, and suddenly I've got these, you know, 3 or 4 guys behind me that I haven't even met. You know what I mean? And it can have an energy to itself, you know, because a lot of the time that kind of stuff happens when you're on tour, so you don't really get a chance to rehearse. And it's like, right, let's bust this out, boys. You know,
let's wing it. Yeah,
wing it. Those sometimes could be the best gigs.
Yeah, like a stranger in your own world, then, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You bring them in, and they just got to try and fit in, you know, around what you do. It's pretty mad sometimes.
Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, I do that thing. I don't know if you do. I don't know what you play. You're a guitarist, are you?
Singer. Yeah, vocalist.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, I've got my guitar, and I'm often like, if I have a depth like that I haven't played with, I often turn around and go B minor, and then just carry. You know. Yeah,
that's happened. And we've had something slip through the net as well, where, you know, to tune up or tune down to the voice and everything. We've changed the key and everything, and then it's like only on certain songs, and then it's like, you've got your stand in there then, and they're just playing something completely different. It's like,
I've had that as well.
Shit, I forgot to tell the stand in, you know?
Yeah, it's funny. There's certain songs that you know, whatever you do it in maybe a half step down or something.
Yeah.
I do that with, was it Mr. Brightside? I think they do that in D sharp, and we do it in D, because it's just easier to play on guitar, And I've actually had that before. Same with Purple Rain. Sometimes I do Purple Rain, and he does that in B flat, and I like to do it in A, and sometimes you just forget to tell the depth. And I've actually had it before. I mean, you said it. Like
it's easily done, isn't it? It's just
you've got a nice little intro where you're playing the chords, and then suddenly, boom.
Yeah, that's it. Creatures of habit. See, we just think everybody knows. Everybody knows. We know. Everybody else knows.
Yeah. Oh, the peril of working muso, eh?
It's all go, isn't it? It's all go. It's all sent to test us. Talking of Purple Rain, I heard the version of Purple Rain, yourself and your son. What a cracking little guitarist.
I know, he's good, isn't he? And
yeah.
It's funny, Indy really only picked up the guitar like a year ago. Maybe.
Really?
Yeah, and literally, well, he as a kid, when he was younger, he's only 15, he's a kid still, but like when he was young, like 10, 11, whatever, he loved the piano, and he would, work out Coldplay songs and things like that, and drive us nuts with like, dun 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 dun, all that. And then he kind of like, he moved to ukulele, and he loved that for a little while, doing like little covers of songs and stuff. And as soon as I put an electric guitar in his hand, it was like something changed.
Yeah, something clicked that moment.
Really clicked, and he was like, "Oh my God!" He just went from strength to strength, and literally within a week or so, I got my guitarist to teach him, give him a couple of lessons and stuff. And the first thing he said to my teacher, to his teacher, my guitarist Martin, he said, "I want to learn the solo for Purple Rain." So I was like, oh, really? Oh, that's how we're doing it.
That's a strong start, isn't it?
Yeah, but he was playing it within a couple of days.
Wow,
he nailed it. Honestly, he's one of those sponges, and just he's a natural musician and natural lead guitar player. Yeah, he's
brilliant stuff. Brilliant. He obviously, so if he's been playing for a year, he learned kind of through lockdown, did he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he's been doing little kind of online gigs with me that you saw. A couple
I've been looking into them. They're great, man. They're great. I was watching one a couple of weeks ago. It's on YouTube. I was watching it, so it happened a little while ago. But all the family were involved. It's fantastic. It's great, and everyone on their little screens
on Good Morning Britain, like or This Morning or whatever it was with Eamon Holmes.
That could have been the one. Yeah. Brilliant.
Sitting on our couch playing the one and only.
That's it. That's brilliant, though. It's just what a nostalgia boost. It just makes people feel good. And in times like these, it's who doesn't need to feel good?
For that one, actually, because it was right slap bang in the middle of the first lockdown. I think it was kind of around this time last year, like April maybe. And and I guess because that song has a lot, people have a lot of kind of connections to it, and it was all very kind of like depressing at the time. Nobody was going out, and and
no one knew what was going on, did they?
No one knew really, and we didn't know how long this was going to go on for or whatever. And so when they asked me if I would do, I don't normally play the one and only for stuff like that, It's like, I got a new album, I'm going to play new stuff, So when Eamon was like, "Come on, let's just do a bit of the one and only, just to cheer people up," I was like, "All right, go on then." And I thought, let's just bring the kids in and just have a bit of a laugh.
Brilliant stuff.
So yeah. It's all on my YouTube if anyone's interested.
Fantastic. Plug it away. So what do we search for?
Well, if you go to chesneyhawkes.com, all the links are there, all the Spotify and Twitter.
Brilliant. Excellent stuff. So new album. When was that out?
Actually, it's not a new album. I've just put out a little acoustic EP called The Sunset Sessions. And this was just literally some of the songs that I'd written and recorded just purely acoustic, just me and a guitar, or me and a guitar and a friend here and there. I got Nick Kershaw, did a little duet with him, and did a little duet.
Yeah, I've watched that as well. Yeah. Right. Well, the one I watched, I think Nick was in his kitchen. I think it was that one. Yeah.
Oh, is that right? That was a little show I did, wasn't it? The Live and Unfiltered thing.
That's right. Yeah, I've been watching those as well. Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah, that was like a season, a whole season of TV shows that I did from here.
Fantastic, brilliant.
I had all sorts of great guests. I had Roger Daltrey come on and do a little bit, and I mean, it was fun. I ended up getting in, people like nurses and frontline workers come in and tell their side of what was going on during the pandemic and stuff. So it became quite an emotional thing. There was a lot of laughter, a lot of tears, and you know, and some great little performances with some great guests. Yeah. So the fans, after I was doing these songs and playing these, you know, debuting these songs that I've been writing and little things that we've been, you know, doing, the fans were like, "Are you going to make these available to stream?" So I was like, "Oh yeah, why not?" So I made this little, you know, little acoustic EP. I have a studio album coming out in the summer, which we've been working on for a long time. So I just thought this is like a kind of, you know, an in-betweeny, as it were, just to tickle everyone's fancy.
Little gap filler.
Little gap filler, exactly.
Yeah, that's the way.
Well, it's
That's
been
the way.
really well received, actually. People really seem to like it. So
Brilliant stuff. And they can get that on the website as well. Yeah, access to that.
yes, it's all on chesneyhawkes.com. But I mean, obviously, it's on all of the streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music and all that kind of. So just search for my name, really.
Brilliant stuff. Brilliant. Excellent. So the new album, have you finished recording it yet, or is there still bits to do?
Yeah, it's something that was pretty much ready to go just as lockdown happened. So it was unfortunate timing for that. But then maybe it wasn't, you know, because I got to kind of work a little bit more on the album, you know, through lockdown and kind of gather all the things that you need to gather for a modern day release. And I did acoustic versions of most of the songs on the album. And
brilliant! I love acoustic versions.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually something that everyone does these days, and they all get released. You know, back in my day, that wasn't a thing. You know, unless you got like recorded on MTV Unplugged or something like that.
That's it. Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's been fun, and I've enjoyed that. I've done, you know, all sorts of acoustic stuff. You know, so yeah, and that is coming out this summer. I don't know the exact dates yet, but I think we're going to start releasing singles in July, and then. The album, I think, comes out at the very beginning of September. At the moment, you know how things
Brilliant
change.
stuff. Well, best of luck with that. Brilliant. I'm sure it'll be awesome. I'm sure it'll go swimmingly well. So are you gigging at the moment over there? What's the lockdown situation over there at the moment?
It's pretty similar to you guys. I'm, you know, starting to open stuff up. They've just released a mandate for the masks over here for people.
Right, okay.
Anyway, so you can go out without a mask. I mean, most you know, public places still require you to wear a mask, like, you know, supermarkets and stuff like that.
Yeah, public transport, bits and pieces.
Public transport, that kind of thing. But then, you know, it's starting to change, and I'm hoping that the US gets on the green list so I don't have to bloody isolate when I come back, because I do have gigs. Actually, I'm coming over next month. Got a couple of gigs, and I mean,
where you going?
Well, it's London, actually. I did have some up and down the country, but last week they all, you know, when Boris did his latest update on the restrictions, it wasn't good news for me, unfortunately. And so, you know, I had a couple of festivals pull or move till later on in the year. I mean, you know, we expect these things. You know, we're in that in between period, aren't we? Where nobody knows.
It. Yeah, we don't know whether to go this way or go that way. We haven't booked anything yet ourselves either. It's like,
right. I mean, promoters are a little bit scared, I think, you know, especially for the bigger concerts like the festivals and stuff like that, because, you know, they can book it and they can sell tickets, but then it can just be pulled, and then suddenly they've lost out on certain things. All the big contracts now have like a COVID clause in them.
Yeah, well, they would, wouldn't they? You know, it's you know, it's one of those things. It's a tricky one, isn't it? It's a very much a grey area. It's new to everybody as well, so people are just trying to deal with it.
New waters, haven't we? And just
absolutely
hope that, you know, it's kind of the good news starts to outweigh the bad news, and we'll get out of this together. That's what we have to do, and we have to all do our bit, and that's it, you know.
That's it. Strength in numbers, my friend. Strength in numbers.
Yeah, one day we'll all be back on a stage and, you know, enjoying live music and, you know, out and about. And I mean, that's what we all want, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant. Tell me about it. Yeah, sooner the better for my liking. I've been stuck indoors like a caged animal for far too long, and it's no good for me. I'm very much an outy type of guy, you know.
You were probably clean shaven at the beginning of the pandemic, weren't you?
Yeah. Funny enough, Ches, I shaved my beard off when it was about this length, about a year ago, for the NHS. I managed to raise about 1,700 for it. I woke up the next morning and it was like this again. So happy days. Yeah, it's like, oh wow. Let's do another 1,700. It took a little bit longer than that, but it didn't take too long to come back, you know. But
that's good. You've always been a beardy man, have you?
Yes, I'm into my motorbikes and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm a Foo Fighters fan. You know, it comes with
yeah.
the territory. Do you know?
That's done it, mate. That's exactly it. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. So, Chesney, your biggest hit, obviously, the one and only. What are your thoughts and feelings on this song now in this day and age? You know, I've been in covers bands, right? And we've done songs over and over and over again. It's like, right, let's get rid of that one. We're
Yeah,
not doing it again. And then when people ask for it, it's like, oh, we don't want to do that one. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Does it get on your nerves, honestly, or
No,
do you still enjoy playing it?
I've gone past that. I've had all of that, if you know what I mean. I've kind of had my ups and downs with it over the years, and I didn't play it for many years after that period. But these days, I, I have this kind of relationship with it where it's not mine, if you know what I mean. It's like it belongs to the people that love it, and as I said earlier on, it went off and made connections with people that had nothing to do with me, really.
Yeah.
I mean, these days I get, over the years I've had letters from people that, where it was the first song they ever bought, or it was like playing when they had their first kiss, or it was their first dance at their wedding, or played at their friend's funeral who loved the song, or, that. I mean, so many amazing stories that I'm kind of humbled by it, and very grateful to have that in my arsenal, as it were, because no matter how I feel about the song, when I play it live, there's an energy to it that you just can't deny. You know what I mean? So
Definitely, 100%. I was listening
Yeah.
to it earlier on as well. I was working in the office today as well. I was walking through the corridor, singing it in my head now as well. It, it earworms you as well. It's one of those. It sticks around.
Gets in there and won't get out. Yeah,
Definitely, And I got another fun fact for you as well in relation to the song. A pro wrestler over here by the name of Johnny Storm. I don't know if you're familiar with him. For a number of years, he used it as his entrance music as well.
Oh, fantastic! I've had a few, athletes, boxers. I think Herbie Hard. Remember him?
Yeah, yeah.
He did. Yeah, he came out to the one and only. There's been a few actually. Yeah, but I think it's a good intro for a wrestler, actually.
Brilliant! Yeah, especially a cocky bad guy as he was back then, So he was the villain, It's like, he was saying, "I am the one and only. Here I am,"
Yeah, exactly.
No, it was great. But yeah, so you're enjoying playing it again now these days?
Yeah, these days we're friends with benefits. I mean, I love it. I mean, I'm proud of the song. I'm proud of the record. I think
you should be, man. You should be.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those that just kind of it had that little bit extra fairy dust, when we made it, and it went off and kind of made a life of its own. So I'm proud of it now. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Nah, good man, and so you should be. Fantastic. So obviously you were born into music. Let's just imagine you weren't. All right, imagine you weren't. So have you ever thought to yourself, if you weren't doing this, if you hadn't done this, in another universe where music didn't even exist? All right, we'd never even heard a D chord or whatever. That's the extent of my playing coming out now, by the way.
Or D string.
Yeah, hey. But So what would you be doing? You've never worked another job other than in the music industry, have you? Other than a bit of acting and whatnot?
The only other job I had apart from music was I was a paper boy.
Yeah, delivering papers to Billy Ocean, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Billy Ocean lived in the road next door to me, and I used to deliver his papers. So
did he used to pay? Because I used to be a paper boy. I used to be a paper boy. We had this guy called John the Burglar, he was called, and he never used to pay. He wasn't a burglar. He had really nimble toes, apparently, so they used to call him John the Burglar. Oh, you creep around like a burglar, you do, So, but it was hard to get a bill off him, so perhaps that was his means of burgling. But Billy Ocean was all right, was he? He was no John the Burglar.
Because I lived in quite a nice area, and like he used to, at Christmas time, he used to get a tenner, and that was,
nice.
He was a good little tipper, and funnily enough, weirdly enough, now full circle, I am now with the same management.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, isn't it funny how it all works out, man?
It's weird, isn't it? I know, it's very funny. Yeah. So Billy and I, now and again we do gigs together, and and we laugh about that, you know. And in fact, the last time I saw Billy, he was with his wife at one of the Let's Rock or the Rewind festivals or something like
Yeah.
that. And he was there with his wife, and his wife came out and said, "Oh, Chesney, I saw
Brilliant.
you, man," you know, and she's so lovely, you know. You've grown up, you know.
Brilliant. I managed to catch a Billy Ocean gig in St. David's Hall in Cardiff a couple of years ago now. He was touring again. What a great guy, and what a giving man to his fans. You know, people were going up to the stage. He was posing for a selfie with them and all that. You know, not enough people do that sort of thing. You know,
he's a lovely man, and very, very talented, and absolutely, you know, brilliant with his fans. You're absolutely right.
And still releasing music now as well, which is fantastic.
He had a hit album this year, so yeah, he's done very well.
Yeah, fair play. So yeah, back to that question. So in another universe, what would Chesney Hawkes be doing if he wasn't doing music?
I think it would have to be something creative. I mean, it's funny, I've been asked that question before, but not framed in the way where music doesn't exist. because I do that, you know, anyway. But seeing as there's no music in your new world order.
Yeah, in Cayman land, planet Cayman, or whatever we want to call it.
Yeah. It would have to be something creative. So I probably it would be something like painting or you know, some kind of artwork or something like that. You know, I don't think I could do like you know, I'm not a spreadsheet man. I'm not.
Yeah. Neither am I.
No. Luckily, my wife is. So you know, you've got to have a spreadsheet person in your life.
That comes in handy.
It does. It bloody does. Yeah.
Most definitely. So wouldn't fancy the 9 to 5 office job then?
Just not me, man. I don't think I would last very long.
Well, thankfully, we're not in Cayman land. We're not on planet Cayman. Well, I am, but that's another story. And music well and truly exists, and you live in the dream. So fantastic stuff. So keep it alive, my friend. Keep it alive.
Well, and you too, my friend.
Yeah, I just do what I can. I'm quite creative myself as well. You know, I was wrestling. I can't keep still. You know, I'm a wrestler, a motorcyclist, a scuba diver, a singer. So I used to be a happy hardcore MC back in the day as well. It's been quite colourful, but I've never quite got it. I'm always like, right, we're nearly there, and then I've done originals as well, and it's a tough old slog doing an originals band, especially some of the venues you go to, and Bill, Bob, and Fred are all in attendance, and nobody else at all. You know.
Yeah, believe me, I've been there.
Yeah. Well, I was watching an interview with yourself talking about that, and you sort of described it as doing it in reverse to a degree. Yeah.
Yeah, I say that.
Highlight on that for people watching and listening, if you would.
I mean, it's funny because I feel I did say that, but I feel like I kind of, it's weird because I did actually pay my dues early on, because I used to play, you know, in bands as early as 13. I was in bands, and I did play piano in wine bars and pubs and all that kind of stuff, you know. And you learn your craft doing that, you know, when you're on your own with an instrument, and one day it will be, you know, people asking for requests and stuff, and everyone around the piano, and you got to be on your toes. And then other days you're just ignored, and you're just background, and that's where you learn to just kind of go from song to song and just play shit and just make stuff up, and you know. So I did that, and then made it, you know, as I was young, you know, I was like 19 when I had that hit. But then after that, I kind of rebelled against pop, as it were, and I kind of turned up to 11 and wanted to be in Radiohead or Nirvana, and just you know, and just play. I was in literally heavy rock bands, you know, for a while there, and we had you know, I wasn't going out as me. It was we had band names, you know, and I was playing all the crappy you know, Camden circuit and you know, playing and having to pay to play.
yeah, being there as well. Yeah.
People getting your band name wrong when they introduce you, and like.
I love that one. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, well, I had a band called Ebb once, EBB, and we were over here actually, and we play in this little tiny venue. And we went on after this band that was doing quite well, and then literally as they left, like everyone left, and there was like 3 people in the crowd, and the MC, we were called Ebb, and he said, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome all the way from the UK, Ebe."
Oh no! That's a sinking heart moment for sure, isn't it?
Oh yeah, you know you've
Oh,
made
my dreams.
it.
I've been there though. I have been there as well.
They were some of my favorite times of my life. You know, I loved those. I have real fond memories of those. You know,
Yeah, it's good to reflect on stuff like that, isn't it?
Yeah, breaking down on the M1 on the way back from Leeds or whatever. You know, and just, I mean, those are what life's about. It's character building, mate.
Exactly. And it's great to look back on, and it makes for great stories, things like this as well, which is fantastic. Exactly. So you got 3 kids and a wife out there in LA. All musical.
Yes, I guess so. My wife, she is a bit of a singer. I wouldn't say that was her passion. She's more of well, she started off as a model and she's an actress, but you know, she does a little bit of singing, and we write together sometimes. And through lockdown, we wrote a couple of songs.
Yeah.
In fact, one of them's on the Sunset Sessions that I was talking about earlier on.
Excellent stuff. Well, I'll have a look at that.
Yeah, a little song that we wrote together, and I got her singing on it and everything.
What's that one called?
It's called "It's Not Like This with Other People."
Excellent.
And yeah, my son, he's nearly 20. He's a bit of a thespian, darling. You know, he's like musical theatre and tread the boards, and you go to RADA and all that kind of stuff.
Excellent. Yeah, I did a bit of that as well. I was in Oliver a couple of years ago.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Dr. Grimwood, Dr. Grimwood or Dr. Grimwig. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, I've done a bit myself. And in fact, I starred in Godspell a couple of years ago, and he was in it actually.
Oh, wow.
I was Jesus, and he played one of my disciples, so I still got to tell him what to do. And then my daughter, who is she's 17, going to be 18 this year, and she wants to be like a ecologist, and like she's save the planet. You know, she's going to St Andrews for college, for university, so she's got the smarts in the family. And we talked about Indy, my 15-year-old. He's a rock and roller.
Oh yeah, totally. You could see that though. You could really see that in him. It's there. You could see he's well and truly been bitten by the bug. He has, definitely.
100%. And you know what's great about him too? That he hates digital stuff. He hates all modern music. He loves, you know, all he wants to do is listen to Queen, Led Zeppelin, and it's all analog. He won't use. He doesn't like using digital stuff. He wants to use an old amplifier with pedals and stuff. You know, he's just like a throwback to like rock and roll. You know,
brilliant stuff. You can't fault that though. You can't fault that. There's not enough of that these days in the new generation. You know. Absolutely.
He keeps saying to me, I want to bring rock back, Dad. I want to bring rock and roll back. You know, and I hate all this digital shit.
He's got a valid point though. He's got a valid point. You know.
All his friends are into hip hop and stuff, and he's like, "No, fuck that shit."
Yeah, I wish him well in his mission to to bring it back. Like, you know, I'm right behind him.
Analog and rock and roll, exactly.
Definitely, over that.
I believe in him. I think he'll do it.
Good man. Well, he's got a good place to start anyway, haven't he? You know, and he's doing good things, and he sounds freaking amazing. You know.
Yeah, I know.
Brilliant.
He's awesome. He really is.
Is it true that Duncan Bannatyne is a big fan of yours?
Yeah. Yes.
Tell us a story. Tell us a story.
Well, years ago, my agent or whatever was contacted by his then wife, his now ex-wife, and it was his 60th birthday party, and it turned out that he was a massive fan and he loved that song, and he used that song with his staff, like, to kind of pump them up. Like
awesome.
That, and it was his favorite song ever, or whatever. And so his wife then wanted me to perform at his 60th birthday party, which I did. I went up to, I think it was up in Sunderland or something, and I did everything but like come out of a cake for him, you know.
Oh, that would have been the best. That would have just been incredible. Why didn't you come out of a cake, Chess?
And I mean, it was everything but that, I tell you, because I was a surprise for him, and he's on stage, and and his wife's like, "And I've got a big surprise for you." And here he is. It's Chesney Hawkes. He's going to sing the one. And he almost giggled like a little girl.
Did he? Did he wet himself? Yeah.
Yeah. He was like jumping up and down and stuff. It was funny. And so I spent that whole evening with him and his family and his friends, and got on really well with Duncan. And we became mates. And since then I've I've been to his place in the south of France, and he's now friends with some of my friends, and he comes to my parties and stuff like that. And if he's ever over this way, he'll call in and see me and stuff. So he's a lovely man, and he's gone past his 70th birthday now. So
yeah.
That shows you how long ago that was.
Fair play. That's still pretty. That's an awesome fun fact that I've dug out there, though. I was like, oh, is he? It's like, I've always watched him on Dragon's Den and all that, and I was just like, oh, he's a Chesney fan. It's okay, good stuff, excellent. It's not just it's just a random fact. I was just like, it kind of tickled me. It's like, that's awesome. Good stuff, man. So when did you make the move to LA? When and why?
It's been 9 years now. That flew by like a...
I can imagine, yeah.
So ridiculous. It seems like yesterday we moved here. Why did we move here? Adventure more than anything else. We're kind of adventurous spirits, my wife and I. And, we had a lovely life down in Surrey, and, great house, and the kids were happy in school, and, everything was great. And... it happened as this one moment where we were at the back of our garden, and we backed onto a farm. It was really lovely, and we had a glass of wine, and we were like, life is good, isn't it? It was like, life is good, cheers. We're just doing that kind of thing. And then she just said these 3 words that just turned our life completely upside down. She goes, yeah, it is good, isn't it? But is this it? 6 months later, we were over here.
That's fair enough. Yeah, I should rephrase the question. Not why did you move? Just why not?
Why not? Well, exactly. Yeah. It's like life's too short, and sometimes if you have a dream to do something like this, I just think if you don't do it, you're going to regret it. So we did it, and we've had a hell of an adventure over here. We really have. And, I mean, I'm back and forth to the UK so much.
I was going to ask you to get back off, and you do, yeah?
All the time. Yeah, I mean, obviously not at the moment, but in normal times, I'm back like once a month at least, sometimes more. I come back for 1 or 2 gigs, and I just like fly in and out. So I can literally commute between LA and London. It's weird.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So when you do come back, I was going to ask as well, do you have... a favorite pub or what have you that you go to, or a favorite go-to place?
Yeah, I mean, my central hub really is Chertsey in Surrey, which is where my brother lives there, my parents live there. So there's a little pub there called the Crown, which is my mates. It's where we all meet up with my mates and stuff.
My brother-in-law's from Surrey as well. I bet he knows it.
Yeah, I bet he does too. Chertsey's a lovely little town, and I often do gigs there as well. But there's plenty of pubs in Chertsey, man. The Swan is another little place we like to visit, and I miss the pubs actually. That's
me too. Well, we're allowed back in them over here now, so me and my girlfriend Amy, you've got a book on me, you have though, right? This, we practically had to bribe landlords to get in places on Saturday, but we got in. We managed to orchestrate a 4 pub crawl. And it was great. It was fantastic. It's different, very, very different. You're sectioned in and everything. If you talk to someone on another table, you get your wrist slapped. But you've got to wear your mask when you're wandering around. You've got to order things on the app. And I'm not that technical, Chesney, I'll be honest.
I bet.
But it was good to be back out there, though, and good to sup a beer on draft, rather than out of a bottle or a can.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, as I said earlier, we've all got to do our bits, and we've got to go along with the restrictions and the guidelines, and eventually it's all going to open up, and hopefully, well, they're saying, aren't they? Was it 21st? That's things are coming back to normal. Maybe the pubs will be open properly, and I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Fingers crossed.
Maybe you and I be able to have a pint somewhere at some point.
Sounds good, mate. Sounds good. I was going to say earlier on, when you're heading to London for your gig, I come along. You give me free passes. I give you a Caiman Show T-shirt. Well, I was after a deal.
I love it.
It makes perfect sense to me.
It's a deal, mate.
I've got a year. We'll keep that. We'll keep that. Yeah, that's evidence. That's evidence. If ever I've heard. Fantastic. There we are. Happy days. So what's next for you? What's next for Chesney Hawkes? And you've got the album you've mentioned.
Yes, obviously the album. That's a big part of what's going to happen this year. I'm going to be back and forth to the UK, promoting that album, doing some gigs. Hopefully that one charts and does well, and that's going to be taking up a lot of my time. I have a podcast that I do with a few friends called "We're All a Bit Mental."
Excellent.
Which we talk about mental health, but it's really a lot of laughter, a lot of tears as well. And I recreate our guests' happy song right here.
Brilliant.
We've had great guests. I've had Toy Wilcox in. I've had Heston Blumenthal. I've had Alfred Molina. Some wonderful guests. And some more great ones to come. We've done season 1 already, so we're still that takes quite a lot of my time actually. It's a great fun great fun podcast. We are all a bit mental.com if anyone's interested.
We are all a bit mental.com. I'll drop it in the video description and everything as well.
Perfect. And I've got all sorts of things. I mean, I'm like you. I'm hands in every pie. I've written a musical which we are now putting together the album, because obviously there's no theatres going to be taking on new musicals at the moment. So I'm actually making the album. We've cast a fantastic bunch of singers, and we're in the middle of putting that together now as well. So I've got the album, the musical, the podcast. We've got the T-shirt.
Brilliant stuff. Brilliant. Yeah. Well, keep going, man. Keep going. It's brilliant stuff. It's nice to see you're still doing what you love. So I'll keep an eye on things as well. Not in a stalky way, as we mentioned earlier. I'm not stalking. I'll
keep looking out the window to see.
Yeah. Well, you never know. I like LA. So I'm in Rome and all. I can see, you've got a guitar in the background there.
Yeah, you want me to sing your song?
I was about giving a little song. Can we
go weird thing off the microphone because I don't think that'll quite work if I've got a guitar going as well. Hang on a minute.
Fantastic, top man.
Okay, take that off. I might be out of tune. Let's have a little look at my guitar.
No worries. As long as the sentiment is there, Chesney, that's what it's all about. Then I can claim my brownie points.
Maybe I should do that song that I talked to you about that I wrote with my wife.
That sounds great. Let's do that.
Close enough for jazz, isn't it?
Brilliant, mate. Brilliant.
See, I can put a capo on there, and see what else is going on here. There we go. There we go. I wish you'd say what's on your mind. We could read between these lines. It wouldn't waste this precious time. Though we might not know it yet, maybe you're the time we get, and it won't matter what we said. But it's not like this. It's not like this at all. It's not like this with other people. Not at all. Yeah. There's a void she can't feel, no cure from some little pill. I am lost without you still. No matter where we go from here, days, weeks, months, years, our love will never disappear. And all I know is it's not like this. It's not like this at all. It's not like this with other people. Not at all. Yeah. Now seeing sunsets and I compare them all to you. These other moments and I know you feel them too. Yes, you do. And you know it's not like this. It's not like this at all. It's not like this with other people. It's not like this. It's not like this at all. It's not like this other people. Yeah, not at all.
Brilliant. That song is awesome.
Thanks very much, man. Thank you.
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. Before I let you go to get on with your day, are there any plugs, shout outs, acknowledgements you wanna give before we wrap it up here, sir?
No, the only plugs are go and check out the Sunset Sessions all on Spotify and Apple Music and all that, or just go to chesneyhawkes.com for gigs and merch and all that bollocks. So
fantastic, mate. Hey, brilliant stuff. You've been absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for giving me a little bit of your time today. I really do appreciate it.
You're welcome, Caiman. And I look forward to that pint, mate.
Definitely, mate. I'll hold you to that. Sounds like a plan. Top man, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Chesney Hawkes. Woohoo!